What's up, Amazon sellers? Q4 Christmas selling is probably one of the best times of year to be selling on Amazon. Ship your products in, make lots of sales, and obviously lots of profits. But you know what? This year, Amazon introduced the restock limits, and hey, that is having an effect on Amazon sellers like you and me. Now, if you want to know how this is going to affect this year's Q4, watch this video. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now for the last 4 years. Now, quite simply, I've got 2 businesses, one in the UK, we're doing 7 figures, that's over £1 million over the last 12 months, and also as well recently started in the USA, and hopefully, maybe next year, we're going to be expanding into another marketplace, and obviously documenting that entire journey. Now, if you're interested to learn about how I did it, what I've learned, and also what I'm learning as part of that journey, then do make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I'm just going to share everything that we're seeing in the Amazon marketplace and ecosystem with you on this channel, so you'll get notified as well. Okay, so first things first, what should you know? Well, look, before we jump into the actual content around the restock limits and how it's going to affect Q4, first of all, restock limits, what are they? The restock limits are when Amazon gives you a limited restock capacity, and this is based on the number of units in their fulfillment centers, based on their storage capacity and how much you can occupy within their warehouses. Amazon wants us as Amazon sellers to sell our stock quickly because they are a fulfillment center and they are not a storage warehouse. So they introduced the restock limits to facilitate the increased movement of stock within the warehouses and to stop us from just storing it in there for a long period of time. Now, this new policy has led to, should we say, many sellers to end actually their Amazon selling journey. And I've heard about it many times because their model was about shipping lots of stock into Amazon and just, storing it there and then obviously selling it through. Right now, they just cannot manage it and they cannot do it cost effectively. As a result, they're probably making losses by storing it in third-party warehouses and they're not set up to manage that faster turnover. In my team, and we'd normally hold, should we say, this is back when it first came in, we'd normally hold about 12,000 units of stock, and that's probably about 3, 4, 5 months worth of stock. But when the restock limits came in, because of our slow sales velocity, and we're actually maybe holding too much, we're not using it, we're using it as a storage warehouse rather than a fulfillment center. What did Amazon do? Well, they came in and gave us a restock limit capacity of only 6,000 units. Now, this was a super big challenge for us because we're just used to having this large number of units in stock and obviously managing the volume through that. But the problem came is that we just couldn't do it. Our business model, the way it worked before, wasn't viable and it wasn't going to work with the new restock limits. So what happened? Amazon stopped accepting any more shipments from us. We had stock piling up in our warehouses, about £20,000, and we had like 20,000 inbound into the warehouse, and then we had like all the stock in Amazon. Amazon weren't accepting anymore, and our warehouse is screaming at us saying, "Hey Tom, you need to get this stock out today." So real big problems, and obviously caused us to reevaluate the way we're doing Amazon and obviously change how we're managing our inventory and the way we work. Now, if you want to know more about, should we say, the restock limits, what I will do is I'll drop a playlist around here based on my journey on how we manage that despite those problems around the restock limits and the strategy change and what we did, and obviously how we saw the business change and actually how we saw our business massively grow from that. So do check out that playlist, it's going to help you. If you are new to the Amazon game, maybe you might not have been selling on Amazon much, you've probably heard a lot about Q4 already. Well, everyone gets super excited about it. Well, Q4 is quarter 4, which is the last 3 months of the year, so October, November, December. Now, generally speaking, this is the holiday season, the Christmas period. This is when a lot of people are shopping. Now, it isn't, should we say, October, it's generally November and December, you'll really see that. But also as well, you've got something like seasonal, like Halloween in there, and that has an uplift as well if you are looking for those products. Now, what does this mean? Well, the last 3 months, middle of November, December, makes Amazon sellers super excited. Just so many more people are shopping for gifts, treats, presents to offer in that Q4 period. More sales happening, and also with more demand, generally prices can increase, so obviously more profits. Now, if you ask me, and if you say my team, we are super excited when it comes to Q4, and we put in place incentive plans, to give additional bonuses to our VAs to drive sales, revenue, and profitability versus the previous year. And this year is going to be unlike no other for us. we are super excited because we just set up new business model, we've got inventory happening, we've got restock limits sorted and a bigger team. So it's going to be a great Q4. So that's a little bit about what the restock limits are and obviously that, and then also what Q4 is and what that period is. Okay, so I'm making this video today about restock limits in the Q4 period, and I'm really interested at that Q4 period, what people are doing. And hopefully if you watch my channel, I share so much about my plans, my business, what we're learning and what we're seeing. You are going to miss 100% of the shots if you don't know where you're going to be shooting. You've got to have a goal, you've got to have a target to be able to achieve something. So question for you, do you have a goal? Do you have a target set for Q4? If you do, drop me a yes or a no down below. And perhaps maybe share me that goal. I'd love to hear what you're doing. I'd love to hear what you're seeing and what you're planning to do in your business over the Q4 period. Now, this leads me nicely on to number 2, which is the restock limits for and how they're going to actually affect Q4. So look, from past years, Q4 was all about, selling more products on Amazon, buy, ship it into Amazon, get it sold. Now, lots and lots of Amazon sellers would just quite simply stock up massively, and I mean massively, in Amazon fulfillment centers. Now, back with the old system, generally speaking, you could literally just hold as much as you wanted and Amazon would let you shift it through. They'd obviously charge you a fee, but there were no set limits on what you could actually store within Amazon. It was quite an interesting time. And as a result, Q4 could be developed, implemented in a slightly different way. Now, when the restock limits came in, this was about the space that Amazon seller stock was occupying in Amazon fulfillment centers. And if you were doing the old model whereby you might sell X number of units over the year and then really ramp up high, but should we say into that Q4 period, you just couldn't do it anymore because Amazon just didn't or wouldn't give you enough fulfillment space in their warehouses to ramp up that stock volume that you could run down over Christmas. And the one thing I will say is Q4 sales do literally go crazy, and if you find the right products, toys and games, for example, they sell multiples of. 10x is very reasonable to expect versus like a month outside of Q4. For us, obviously, shipping in that large volume of stock just isn't possible with the restock capacities now in place as part of the restock limits within Amazon. Now, what makes this Q4 difference is that we need, as Amazon sellers, you and me, we need to control our inventory because we can't do that old model of just shipping as much as we want. We've got to make sure we align with the restock limits. Now, shipping more to Amazon can be quite risky because it can eat up all that restock space, and we've got to be very strategic about what we ship, when we ship, and how much we ship. So the challenge now is how can we still sell more in Q4 when Amazon won't allow us to ship such large quantities of products into the Amazon warehouses because of the restock limits. Now, if you are worried about this, do not worry, there is still hope. You can still manage to send large shipments into Amazon, but this time it is going to be different, and I did allude to it about what we've seen in the past. Okay, so quick thing for you guys, if maybe you are looking to really smash this Q4, and actually maybe you do have the restock limits, or maybe you're not maximizing the full capacity you've got in Amazon to get them sold. And I talked about it earlier, 10x of certain products, certain categories, 10x of sales, that's 10 times the volume of sales per month, can be expected within the Q4 period. Amazon goes crazy. But the one thing which you might be thinking about is, that sounds great, Tom, but like my real problem right now is finding opportunities to buy low, sell high, finding deals, finding leads. Well, if you are struggling for that, because I know it takes time, then look no further than FastTrackFBA Leads. This is a service I created whereby we've got a team of VAs in the US and another team in the UK sourcing 7 days a week. What do? We find every single deal, and I mean every single deal that they find, we put them onto our web platform. No like 5 a day, 10 a day, every single deal we find, we put them onto our web platform. You come in, you buy tokens, and then you can browse all of the deals, every single deal we have. And when you find the deals that you want, the ones that are going to 10x over the Christmas period, then you can exchange those tokens, unlock the deal, go to the supplier website, buy the product, and then obviously ship it to Amazon, and obviously make that profit. Buy low, sell high, super simple. This is what we do, rinse and repeat. But again, it's about finding opportunities to invest that money in. If you want to know more, do check out FastTrackFBA Leads. I'll drop a link down below. Completely game changing. I think you're going to love it, and it's going to really help you level up your business. Okay, so that leads me on to number 3, how to actually sell more in Q4 with the restock limits. What I will say is for you is don't worry, there is still hope for you if maybe you're struggling in the Q4 period, and let me share with you some of the ways that you can do, what I've done in my Amazon business to help increase sales volumes, restock limits, but also manage the restocks capacity better. So the one thing that you've got to really think about in the Amazon business and why the restock limits came around is because of Amazon wants you to use their warehouses as fulfillment centers, not storage depots. So what does that mean? You need to be thinking about sales velocity of sales, and that is something you should always be focusing on within your Amazon business. Now, in my Amazon business, this is one of the main things we look at and the main strategies we focus on is about really just ensuring that we're consistently delivering a good velocity of sales. It doesn't have to be too fast, but also it can't be too slow. And as a result, what we get is we get an increase in the restock limits and in the restock space every week. Ours is just going up and up. Amazon are giving us more space because we're managing the velocity of sales really, really well. Now, before we look into products which have, like a high ROI, let's call it 30% ROI, £3, $3 profits, regardless of the sales velocity, what we are actually doing now is really considering the sales velocity and also the competition, keeping in mind that we have to sell that stock. And as a result, what we've done is we actually have taken a decrease in our strategies. We've taken a decrease in what's our minimum criteria we look for. It used to be £3 profit, 30% ROI. Now we do £2 profit, 20% ROI, but we are looking for faster selling items that we can sell on the Amazon marketplace. Now, by doing this, what we've done is we've managed to increase the velocity of our sales, and as a result, Amazon has increased the amount of restock space we have. Now, if you want to know more about this strategy in depth, in detail, and I do go into it, and actually you can see kind of like how it all works with the restock limits, I'll drop a link up here to a video which I've done around the Amazon restock limits, so do check that out. Now, aside from focusing on fast selling items, there are some other measures that you can do in your Amazon selling business to help increase the restock space. So I'll just kind of go through them now. Number 1, what I'll say is deleting rogue shipments. Now, I say this because every time you create a shipment, even if you don't actually ship that shipment in, every time you add products to it, that actually comes out of your restock limits. So if you were today go in and create a shipment of 1,000 units, you'll see your restock limits decrease by 1,000. Even if you don't ship the shipment, just by having it in your Seller Central ready to go will decrease that. So make sure that any ones you got of those are deleted out and you only have shipment plans created when, obviously you are ready to ship. Don't leave them sitting there. It's just going to eat into your restock limits. That's a big game changer. A lot of things where people are going wrong. So clear them out, delete them, don't have those rogue shipments. Number 2 is delete unfillable products. These are broken products, maybe returns in your Amazon fulfillment centers. Get them returned to you, get them destroyed if you're going to do that. Just get them out of your Amazon Seller Central or Amazon warehouses because they're going to add into that restock limit. So if you're storing a lot of them, get them shipped back. Amazon's price on it is really, really cheap. So get them returned, deal with them. The idea is get them out of your warehouse because that is stock that you can't sell and it's stopping you from shipping other stock in which you can sell. So again, manage that really importantly. Now, number 3, what I will say is fix stranded inventory. Now, if you've got, should we say, inventory that maybe doesn't have a listing or there's something wrong with it, get it fixed. Now, the 4th thing which I recommend for you is get rid of products that are slow selling in your inventory. Now, the Amazon restock limits, and we talked about it before, are really about encouraging you to manage your inventory better. And what does that mean? Not storing products in Amazon as a warehouse or storage facility, but actually getting them sold and using it as a fulfillment center. If you've got products which are slow selling in your inventory and get them sold, that is going to clear out those old products, and obviously Amazon will see that, they like it, and what they can do is they're going to give you more space because you are managing your inventory well, and trust me, that is what we have seen. Now also as well, like if you've got really slow selling items, you could actually buy something which is going to sell quicker, and as a result you're going to probably make your money quicker. It might be a little bit less, but you're going to just churn that money quicker. So something to really think about there, and I think that's a really important one. So now the 5th thing which I'll say for you is get rid of inventory which is pretty much like over 90 days old. Now, I talked about it earlier in point number 4, clear out old stocks, but anything over about 90 days, you really want to be looking at going, do I really need to keep this? Our old model, and I talked about it earlier, was we hold stock for 3, 4, 5, even 6 months and then sell it through. It just doesn't work anymore with the restock limits. Amazon are generally looking at you to manage that fulfillment, that sell-through rate a lot quicker. And generally speaking, what we're seeing seeing, and while Amazon haven't told us, but what we see is when people have a lot of stock over 90 days, it causes problems with the restock limits. If your stock is all under 90 days, Amazon are giving you lots of space. So managing that stock, which is over 90 days, clearing it down, maybe returning it back to your warehouse as long-term storage, that is going to really help you. And as a result of doing that, Amazon will actually increase your storage space. Now, the sixth thing, which I'll say for you, is manage excess inventory. If you view your inventory tab and you go into Seller Central inventory planning, then what you're going to look at is that excess inventory. And that's just going to show you products whereby there's too many of these items. Now, they might not be over 90 days, but you might have just too much stock and Amazon's like, they're not going to sell. So checking those out, maybe like removing some of them, clearing down the products, deleting the price, that's going to really help you manage that excess inventory and make sure it doesn't become a long-term problem. Now, obviously, the net result of that and all of these things is that you're going to get increase in your restock limits. Now, the seventh thing which I really recommend for you is compare your in-stock products versus stock sold within the last 30 days. Now, this is a top tip. Why? Because it helps you determine how fast the stock's actually moving. For example, if you've got like 300 items of stock and the last 30 days you've only actually sold 30 items, this is a problem because you've now got 10 months worth of stock that in your warehouse at the current sell rate. So by monitoring that 30-day sell-through rate versus your actual inventory level can help you understand maybe there's certain lines which just aren't maybe selling as expected, or maybe you've got too much stock, and obviously then you can take creative action from there onwards. And as a result, it's going to help you manage that restock capacity, and if you manage it well, it's going to help you out, obviously improve it. Now, one thing which I will say, and I've been saying it throughout all these points I've just shared, is that by doing all these points, and probably in that order actually, if you get it right, Amazon is going to most likely increase, not decrease, not maintain, but increase your restock capacity. It means you can now ship in more stock. So by doing these top tips, not only are you going to maintain your existing capacity, but you're most likely going to get an increase in the restock capacity, which is going to help you during that Q4 period. And oh my God, it means you are going to be smashing it, obviously taking advantage of that increase in sales. So do it, trust me, it's going to be game changing. It's going to really, really help you out. Now, what I will say is always remember that nothing beats a great strategy and planning. Work smart, work hard, and absolutely smash that Q4 and obviously work within what Amazon's saying. Now, if you want to know more about Q4 and how it's working and also like my plans for that as well, what I'll do is I'll leave a video around here about what my plans are for the Q4 period, and hopefully I can share some top tips with you that's going to help you out in leveling up your game and smashing the revenues during this amazing, amazing time. So hopefully you've liked this video, and if you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, do hit the subscribe button down below. But what I will say is from me, Thomas Parkinson, and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.